Yo, wait, did I turn the mic on, right? Tarek, can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. Tarek, can you hear me? We can hear you. We can hear you. Cannot hear.โอเครอแป๊บนะครับเดี๋ยวอาจารย์ทอริกเขากำลังแก้ไขปัญหาเรื่องไมโครโฟนนิดนึง
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Tarek.
I'm so sorry for the technology make school difficult. I'm not
Okay.
a MIS guy, and meeting with the people with the MIS, my heartbeat start
You, you don't
beating.
need you don't need other people to fix you microphone, man. You don't need that. Anyway, okay. All right,
Yeah,
Tarek. Good luck, man. Thank you so much for covering for me today. Okay,
yeah,
and
yeah,
have a good time in class. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope now you can listen to me. So before I just start, let me quickly go. Most of you are the MIS program student, I understand. And yeah, so and then I myself I'm working with the business school, Thammasat Business School here for a couple of years, and myself I work for the Thai universities for nearly like 6 7 years, and before that I used to work in Malaysian university. And that's all about myself. We'll talk about later if we have more time. So what I'm going to do is let me share with you my screen first, and then probably we can go together. So can you see my slides? Anyone, please? Yeah.
Excuse me, Dr. Charek, would you mind if we would like you to record screen?
Wow. Sure. Yeah. Let me check.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So record on the computer.
Recording in progress.
Yep. Thank you. Usually I don't take the recording because it's a live class anyway, but because of your request, I'm going to take the recording, and we'll share and we'll see together later on. But here we go together. So in my class, what I'm gonna do is I need your participation, and that's why most of the time I prefer student jump in and then they can ask the question and we can go together. All right, so but we'll go together, and then if you have any question, please feel free to ask me and I will try to answer your question. So this afternoon or the evening, we're going to talk about basically the project cost management. Yeah, so I'm sure you know about the project because it's like a 4 5 weeks you already study about the project management, but I'm going to briefly tell you my idea about the project management. So here's the things that we're going to learn today, or we're going to work together. Yeah, the first thing we are going to look is the basic concept of the project management. And then we're going to move to the importance of the cost management, why it's so important in our time, especially. And then we will look on the estimation difficulties. What are the challenges related to the estimation, and the companies or the big organization, how they are facing this kind of challenge. You're going to look quickly. Then we're going to go for some of the guidelines, how we can make our estimation cost that more effective and more usable. And finally, we're going to go for managing the cost during the turbulence. These are the 5 things. So in Thai, you call ha is like ha ha ha. So you're going to go for ha things together. All right. So let's get started. What is project and what is project management? Anyone can tell me? Yeah.
Excuse me, in my opinion, it is about how we manage the schedule, the cost, and the timeline that we have this for the maybe give for the some for the organization or for the boss, something like that.
So it's like you said that how we're going to manage our time, the scope, and the budget, right? To achieve
Yes.
some sort of target. Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, so it's like basically like what you said is the triple constant of the project. Yeah. But now I want to further go and then want to tell you something that I feel about the project. So when the project actually started, yeah, that's the beginning of the very idea of project. So the project is something very unique. Every day that you are doing it is not a project. Is we call it program. I'm sure you know about it. Now, what we do on a special basis, something like a unique, we call it project. And then when we bring the knowledge of management to continue the project, we call it project management. Now, here is my first idea that I want to share, the history of the project. Some people say when the project actually started. To me, the project idea started when the cavemen, they start living in the cave. Yeah? They had to make their bedroom, they had to make their dining table, all these things. Because of that one, they had to start with the project. And that's the beginning of the project. And then moving on further, we have seen that marvelous creation made by human being, and God bless them. I mean, how they made it, we have no idea. But that's all of the fantastic part of the project. So these are the example of project. Now, what I want to tell you, when we add this idea along with the management knowledge, like statistics, like the knowledge of the mathematics, like the knowledge of consumer behavior, all these together, we make the idea of project management. So in the project management, there is a three things that your friend just now mentioned. Three things: scope, cost, and the project. No matter how big or small the project itself, you need to manage these three things: cost, scope, and the time. So today we're going to look on the cost part. And that's we call the triple constant: cost, scope, and the time. Project cost management. What is the project cost management, or why we actually need the project cost management? Anyone wants to share some idea? Why we really need the project management costing? I mean, we can, yeah, go ahead.
To manage or control the cost to be within project within the project budget.
Yeah, so we can't simply jump. We need to look on the budget, how much is it gonna cost, and whether we can manage it or not. That's the point. So that's why we need the project management. We look on further, and what I want to do here is that if you got a chance, if you, let's say we give you a chance, where on the planet you want to go and you want to work as a project manager, why you think so? So here's the Padlet. I'm going to share it in the chat room. You can go to the Padlet and you will see that the map will come out, and tell me where you want to go if you got an opportunity to work for. Yep. Let me know if you got any trouble with the link. I hope that it should work. So I'm also going to see together. So here's my Padlet. Can you see the Padlet? Yeah, so it's the map, right? And then click somewhere that you want to go, and you want to work as a project manager. And let me know why you want to go and why you want to work for this place as a project manager. What's your reason? Yeah. So I'm going to give you not more than 5 minutes. Please do it quickly. Yeah. South Korea. Yeah, please go and write it in the what do you call, in the map. Click on the map. You can click wherever you want to go, and then we'll see why you want to go there. Yeah, I can see some of you want to go to UK. Wow. Some of you want to go to Italy. That's great. Fascinating. Japan also. Okay, great. So simply just you need to click and then you can write you just click that's going to be mostly okay. And then if you want to write why you want to be there, you can write that too. Also, let me know if you think that in somewhere, someplace.
Excuse me, Dr. Ho, I think some of my friends will have ever experienced to use the Padlet. Would you mind if I would like you to share how to publish in the...
Sure.
Yes.
Go ahead and share the screen. You can share. I make it multiple sharing. Yeah, if you want to share the screen, you can go and share. So it's just simple.
Okay.
You just need to click on.
Okay. Yeah. Would you mind if I would like to share to my friends? Okay.
Yeah. Please do so.
Okay. ทุกคนครับถ้าเกิดได้ลิงก์แล้วอ่ะให้กดตรงเนี้ยครับ add a post เนาะแล้วมันก็จะสามารถที่จะพิมพ์เป็นประเทศก็ได้หรือว่าจะเป็นก็คือจะเลือกได้แต่ว่าไอ้ว่าเลือกค่อนข้างยากก็คือว่าพิมพ์ชื่อประเทศไปตรงเนี้ยแล้วก็กดสมมตินายว่ากดเป็นเจแปนใช่ไหมครับสมมตินะแล้วก็กดปุ๊บเนี่ยมันก็จะมีโพสอันนี้ขึ้นมาแล้วก็พิมพ์อาจจะเป็นชื่อของเราได้รหัสตามติงแล้วก็กด publish นะครับมันก็จะขึ้นมาที่หน้าจอเนาะใครคิดว่าคุณอาจจะไม่เคยใช้นะครับ
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It should be. Yeah, that's how it should be. Yeah, thank you.
Because I think Padlet is quite some innovative. I know in the educational university that you or some of your academical have experience so much, but I think some of my friends have experience to use that.
Sure. Thank you so much. We all learned today. Yeah. It's not a rocket science anyway. I'm not an IT guy, but I can use it. So it's just simple. You click on the plus button and then the name will come up and then you can type. Yeah. Perfect. I can see many of you already. Yeah, that's great. Interesting. And also let me know if you think that some places the cost estimation is very correct. That's why you want to go there. That would be interesting to see. Okay, quick. All right, so what I can do, by the time you are writing, probably I can go with some of you, those who have done already, and then we can talk a little bit why you want to go there. So, for example, if I says, I can see someone wants to go United States. Can you tell me why you want to go to United States? What's your reason that if you got a chance to work as a project manager, you prefer to go to United States? Why? You like the winter or what? You want to go to Texas or you want to go to Newark? Okay, or anyone who want to share your idea with us, feel free to open your microphone and tell us where you want to go, why you want to go. Is there anything that you feel that cost management or the estimation is very good on that country? Yeah. Jirota, you want to say something?
Okay, let me start first. As far I can see from me, I chose Switzerland. Actually, I didn't think about the cost estimation or something like that because I would like to work at the Switzerland because first, the viewing or quality of life is quite very good. And if I have a chance to be work as a project manager or something like that, I would like to go through to be a Switzerland to be something more.
So you think that the life, you think that the life is better.
Quality of life and maybe something about the high salary, but it's quite a little, it's quite too hard because the citizenship in Switzerland is quite so very hard to get a citizenship on the country. Yes.
A friend of mine, he just went there, and then he said that he went to the airport, and then he immediately noticed that no one is using the mask. Yeah, and then he was told, don't use the mask because no one is using the mask anyway. They have many people died, but the country is nearly like open, and then the Switzerland, my friend told me that people got a lot of, especially like medical, in terms of medical. Um, he said that really, really good life. So yeah, so that's one of the things I do agree with you. If you think like a country in Asian countries, life is not bad, but some are very, very difficult here, especially medical. Yeah. So yeah, if you plan to go Switzerland, good luck for you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to share with us your thought?
I choose South Korea.
Okay, why?
Actually, because I had experience with a South Korea client before, but I haven't completed that project before I resigned from that company.
Okay, but you got an experience there, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit
Working
about your experience in South
working
Korea.
with South Korea's project is a kind of challenging because of their timeline and their budget is
Right, yeah.
quite too complicated.
Yes.
They try to build a project with less timeline and less budget when compared with the other competitors. So when working with them, everything is very challenging and very expedited every time.
yeah and like technology and all this, especially like project related thing in South Korea, very, very specific. So like you set up these things, you can't change it. In Thailand, we said the things and then we got change and then we revise again, we do again. So it's a kind of life cool. But in Korea or the Japan even, things are very, very specific. So if you want to change, it may not be very good idea. Anyone else wants to share some of your idea? Where you want to go? I don't have much time to wait here. So if maybe like 1 or 2 person, I'm going to take. I can see some of you want to go to Germany. Yeah. Anyone? Tell me why you want to go to Germany. Because I'm going to show you a video where you will see that the project in Germany also got failed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, excellent. I understand that you have many things to say, but time and all these things maybe not very good for us right now. So I will try to listen to you once again if we have more time in the later part of the discussion. But right now, let me go back to my slide one more time, and then we have something to share with you. Let me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to share with you why some people select a country, why other people select a different country. What's the reason? So basically, my understanding is that when people select a country, when people wants to go somewhere, they don't just go for one thing. They try to look on the future. So for example, when someone come for master degree program in MSMIS, they don't simply come for the study here. They want to see the end result. So I go there, and once I complete my master degree, I will get the job, something like that. Okay? Very similar when someone come to Thailand or someone go to Switzerland or someone go to Korea, they don't simply go to the one country at this, try to look how long I can stay there. What are the benefit might come to me? Is it a country where I can settle down, or is it a country where I can use as a transit. So it's like a country, I'll be there for 5 or 10 years. Meanwhile, I will try to, find the better place where I can live. So that's how people try to select. So again, the idea here is the cost estimation. You don't simply play with your life, you look on your lifetime, you try to understand your time in this world, right? Very limited time, and you want to do some contribution. So you think that if I become a project manager, where I want to go? I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Paris because I have some sort of plan. And that's the things people want to do. Like that's an example I try to bring to connect our lifelong discussion, life discussion with the project idea. Now, what are we gonna go in the next part? We will try to look on why estimating cost is very important. Why it's so important? Just like changing the place, just like going to the one country to another country, you also need to think very carefully about your project. What's the reason? Here's the things I'm going to share with you. First of all, it's a support, good decision. What are the things you should do, and what are the things you shouldn't do? It's also telling you some sort of schedule. What are the things you should follow? Like this, today I'm going to do this one, tomorrow I'm going to do this one, something like that. So it's also help you to determine the long project should take and what are the things, how long the project should take and its cost. Yep. So you got the clear picture. So this is the time I'm going to take this much money, and then next time I'm going to use this money. And it's also give a kind of, what are the things worth doing? What are the things you should not do? And the cash flow, when I need the more money, because the project, let's say that $10 billion, right? So you don't need the $10 billion in the day one. You need the $10 billion in a later on part, like 6 months later or the 1 year later. You need maybe like 1 million, you need 5 million after that. So the flow that you can get from this estimation, yeah, it's help you to determine the flow. It's also help you to determine how well the project is progressing. So 6 months later, if you see that you have spent enough money and you have doing the job correctly, you're happy. If not, then you need to relook on the project and try to understand why you can't make it. And the final thing is that here, to develop the time press budget, like estimate the project baseline and all these things, it's going to help you. So therefore, people like to do the cost estimation, or the companies or the organization, they do the estimation. But the problem is, we try to do our best, but in many cases it got failed. So I'm going to share with you a video that's actually State Build Project 21. And let me try to use the sound system. Wait a second.
Is there a sound? Excuse me, Dr. Tarek.
Can easily cope with 49 trains per hour. All service functions at the new central station are conveniently located on one level and can be reached at ground level through the ticket halls and at the entrances, tower, and Schlossgarten. The historic Hohenspitz and the new light airy platform hall make Stuttgart Central Station truly unique. Entrances to the platforms keep the distances to be covered to a minimum so that passengers can change trains quickly and conveniently. There is now barrier-free access to the passenger building and platform hall from all directions. The entire station area now also stairs and escalators enable passengers to transfer quickly and directly from the train platform.
So
Yeah, I'm going to stop here. It's a luxurious project and a big project. But the point is, what do you think about this project? Is it a great project supposed to be done, right? And it's looked like really good. But you know what? For your surprise, this project is actually is a lots of problem with the estimation. When they started this project nearly like 27 years ago, and it was told that the whole project will cost 5.4 billion and should be complete by 2019. But country like Germany, yeah, project got, I shouldn't say failed, but it's take longer time. And it's taking now $12 billion. So it's not only jump, it's actually totally more budget, right? Double, it's a double, more than double. And the time is another 6 years if we can, we don't know, maybe like because of COVID, things are actually getting even worse. So you don't know when exactly the project will come out. What I want to address here is that even though you make a good plan, or you have some sort of intention to make a good plan, but we find that often managers face a big difficulty with the project. They find that managing time as well as the managing budget is the biggest challenge for them. Yeah? So the question is, what went wrong? Why the companies or the big manager or the big project manager got really in trouble time with managing the budget? Are they not enough, you know, smart, or are they not enough capable, or is it like some sort of problem with them? Why they unable to make it within a specific budget? So in the next part of the discussion, what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to send you to the breakout room, and I want you to think in it critically and try to find out the cost estimation and why it's the fail, why many of them fail. And then, yeah, so any question before I send it you to the breakout room? Yeah, anyone got any question for me? Okay, if not, let me ask you one question. How many group you have in this class?
5.
5 group, perfect.
Yes.
So yes, so what I'm going to do is like, I am also going to share with you another link where you can find all the team, and I want you to write on the Padlet. Yeah, so here's the things. Yeah, this is the question I have for you, and as well as this is the link for the Padlet where you can go and you can see your team is there. Yeah, so let me open the Padlet. So you can, if you are team number 1, go and click on the edit button and then start writing here. Yeah, if you are team number 2, go and write on the edit button and then write whatever you think. So my question is very specific, that think the critical nature of the cost management and tell me the cause why estimation got failed, you know. So you have a right now is a 38. I want to give you 10 minutes. Is it okay? You want me to create more time for you? So okay, so it should be okay. So I'm going to create the breakout room for you, and then I actually keep 15 minutes for you. So if you can make it faster, that's good. If not, you can spend some more time with your friend to discuss about these things. So what you have to do is, a second. So you see, when you got this invitation, it's open for everyone. Now you can join the room your friend joined. So if you are team number 1, you can go to the room number 1, and then room number 2, or wherever you want to go, it's up to you. So go to the room that you like to go and let your friend know where you are so that everyone can go to the same room. Yeah. I can see some of you are joining the room. Okay, very good. I know some of your device might not support. Let me know in search. I will send you then to the specific room that you want to go.
คุณฟ้าปะขาดคนหนึ่ง
วันนี้พี่ปาไม่ได้เข้าเรียนค่ะ
อ๋อโอเค
ไปฉีดยา
ไปฉีด
ได้
ยา
เราก็มีกันเท่านี้แป๊บนึงคิดก่อนโอเค เราจะแชร์หน้าจอเนาะเราก็เริ่มเอาโพสขึ้นมาได้ยินเสียงไอชันเนาะ
ได้ยินค่ะอ๋อมันต้องเข้าลิงก์นี้ใช่ไหม
เดี๋ยวทุกคนพูดแค่แล้วเดี๋ยวเราพิมพ์ไปพร้อมกันถ้างั้นนะหรือเราจะทำใช้ Google แล้วเราก็ค่อย copy ดีนะยังไงดี
บอกไอซ์ก็ได้ครับจะได้ไม่ต้องหลาย
เนาะได้ใช่ไหม
ครับทีนี้อาจารย์เขาคือโปรเจกต์ก่อสร้างหรือ IT โปรเจกต์อะ
เขาไม่ได้บอกอ่ะคุณเจ้ยแต่ว่าเหมือนเขาคิดว่าคือภาพรวมที่ว่าทำไมการประเมินในเซลล์ของเราหมายถึงว่า cost estimation เนาะทำไมมาถึง fail ถ้าที่อ่านนะ often mention the other projects according to the budget and what fail เนี่ยเขาบอกว่าเหมือนธรรมชาติของการเหมือนกับการ cost management ใช่ป่ะคืออะไรสาเหตุที่ทำให้มันแบบ ไม่ได้ใช้เงินเป็นไปตามโปรเจกต์นั้นๆตามที่เราวางแผนไว้อะไรเงี้ยหลักๆมันคือเรื่องอะไรแบบอะไรดีอะ
ไม่ได้คิดถึง uncertainty อ่ะ
อะไรเงี้ย
แต่ว่ามันกว้างไปไหม uncertainty
คือ
กว้างไป
ไอคิดว่ามันน่าจะไอคิดว่ามันอาจจะเป็นเรื่องของแบบ business continuation plan เนี่ยคุณแนนหมายความว่าคือคือก็คือโอเคแหละมันคือหนึ่งคือมันดิสซับด้วยโควิดใช่ป่ะสองคือพอมันก็คือโดนกันทั้งกระบวนการแล้วพอดีโปรเจกต์เราอาจจะไม่ได้ทำแบบ contingency หมายความว่าแผนฉุกเฉินหรือแผนสำรองไว้มันก็เลยแบบว่าเกิดปัญหาขึ้นไม่รู้นะคุณแนนมองว่าไงถามก่อนไอไม่แน่ใจเหมือนกัน
กำลังคิดอยู่โปรเจกต์ปกติไม่โปรเจกต์ถ้าเป็นโปรเจกต์ construction ปกติมันจะไม่ได้มีอะไรนะ
contingency plan
เขียนไม่ถูก contingency plan ขนาดนั้นอยู่แล้วอะแต่ว่าถ้าเป็นโปรเจกต์ IT อะโปรเจกต์แอปพลิเคชันอะมันน่าจะมีเรื่องของอะไรนะ trendy เข้ามาเกี่ยวข้องค่อนข้างเยอะเลยอะถ้าเป็นพวกโมบายแอปอะแต่ทีเนี้ยถ้าถามว่าก็ใส่ไปก็ได้นะไม่รู้ดีถามพี่เตยลองถามพี่เตยก็ได้แต่ก็เลยมองว่าสุดท้ายแล้วถ้าเกิดว่าโปรเจกต์อะมันทำได้ตามเวลาที่กำหนดอะมันก็ไม่น่าจะมีปัญหาเรื่องพวกนี้หรือเปล่านะงงไหมคือถ้ามันไม่ได้ดีเลย์อะมันก็ไม่น่าจะมีปัญหาที่คอนเซิร์นมาถึงคอร์สถูกปะ
คือมองว่าถ้าเกิดแพลนมันจบแปลว่าเงินมันก็ต้องไม่เกินถูกปะ
ใช่ถ้าสมมุติว่าปกติอะมันต้องคิด feasibility study อยู่แล้วใช่ป่ะว่าสมมติว่าโปรเจกต์เนี้ยต้องทำให้เสร็จภายใน3 เดือนสมมตินะเป็น IT plan แล้ว3 เดือนเนี้ยถึงจะสามารถ publish application แล้วก็เก็บเงินลูกค้าออกมาได้ใช่ป่ะทีเนี้ยถ้ามันทำได้ภายใน3 เดือนจริงอะมันไม่ควรจะมีการมันไม่ควรจะเกิดแบบโอเวอร์เฮดโอเวอร์ชาร์จอะจากการเงินโอเวอร์ชาร์จจากการที่มันจะเก็บเงินลูกค้าไม่ได้ถูกป่ะงงคำถามงงสิ่งที่พี่พูดไหมมึนๆหน่อยนะฉีดยาเหมือนกันพูดจะมึนๆประมาณนึงแต่พี่เต้ยจำได้uncertainty เหรอกำลังคิดอยู่ว่า uncertainty ปกติจะเป็นเรื่องอะไรบ้าง
like แบบ
เรื่องค่าเงินมัน uncertainty ขนาดนั้นไหมสำหรับโปรเจกต์ IT
โหมันไม่ currency ไม่น่าจะขนาดนั้นปะไม่แน่ใจ
ถ้าเป็น construction project เยอะเหมือนกันนะถ้าเป็นงาน construction ใหญ่ๆที่แบบต้องซื้อของจากต่างประเทศอะไรอย่างเงี้ยพวก equipment
เข้าใจแล้ว
กำลังคิดเรื่องนั้นเหมือนกันครับถ้าเป็นคอนสตรัคชั่นพวกโลจิสติกอะไรเวลาในการขนส่งอะไรมันเกี่ยวเยอะนะถ้ามันของมันต้องมาจากต่างประเทศถ้าเกิดมันมีปัญหาตรงนี้มันก็ทั้งหมดแต่ถ้าเป็นโปรเจกต์ไอทีเนี่ยถ้าเรื่องคอร์สเนี่ย
ความต้องการผู้ใช้เปลี่ยนได้ไหมคะเกี่ยวไหม
ก็เปลี่ยนนะครับถ้า requirement เปลี่ยนคอร์สมันก็เปลี่ยนแหละคือบางทีสมมติว่า requirement มันมาอย่างแล้วเราตัดสินใจเลือก direction หรือ way ไปแล้วแล้วพอ requirement บางอันมันขยับอย่างเงี้ยไอ้ solution ที่เราเคยคิดไว้มันเปลี่ยนแล้วมันอาจจะต้องคือมันอาจจะต้องกระทบเรื่องคอสในการที่จะต้องหาคนมาทำเพิ่มหรืออะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับอันนี้ก็อาจจะมีส่วนครับแล้วก็เรื่องของเวลาที่มันโดนขยับมันก็จะทำให้คอสมันสูงขึ้นถูกปะ
ใช่
cost management ได้ไหมหมายความว่าเขาก็เหมือนเปลี่ยนเหมือนก็อาจจะแบบเปลี่ยนแนวเปลี่ยนคนเปลี่ยนอะไรทำให้แบบเราต้องปรับอะไรเงี้ย
แล้วอีกอย่างที่มันน่าจะเกี่ยวก็คือเทคโนโลยีที่เราเลือกมันไม่แมทช์กับทีมทำให้ทีมเราอาจจะใช้เวลาเช่นสมมติว่าปกติทีมเราทำกันอยู่ประมาณ3 เดือนอย่างนี้ใช่ไหมครับแต่พอมันเทคโนโลยีมันไม่ที่เราเลือกมามันไม่แมทช์มันก็กลายเป็นว่าทีมเราก็ต้องไปเรียนนิ่ง by doing ต
ไม่
ลอด
แต่
เว
ว่า
ลา
ถ้า
ด้วย
เกิดมันเป็นอะไรที่เราไม่ได้เชี่ยวชาญอ่ะ เราจะรับโปรเจกต์นั้นเหรอคุณเตยนึกออกปะ
แสดงว่า
อัน
เรา
นี้
มั
เลื
น
อก
ก็
คน
เป็น
ให้
ได้
ถามก่อน
ครับ
เราอาจจะเลือกคนได้ไม่เหมาะกับงานตั้งแต่แรก
คนที่เรามีอยู่อะครับ มันอาจจะไม่ได้
อ๋อ
เหมาะ
แต่
กับ
คืออยาก
ก่อ
จะ
น
ท
นะ
ำ แต่ว่ามันต้องใช้เวลา learning แต่ว่าคิดว่ามัน cover ในส่วนของเงิน อะไรอย่างงี้เปล่า ไม่แน่ใจ
ใช่
นึกคำถามออกเปล่า คือก่อนที่เราจะไปเลือกเทคโนโลยีอะ เราต้องดูแล้วแหละว่าโอกาสที่องค์กรเราจะทำได้ เดี๋ยวเราไปรับโปรเจกต์ อาจจะจากราชการหรืออะไรเงี้ย เข้ามา มันต้อง นึกออกใช่ไหม ถ้าเราไม่ได้เชี่ยวชาญเรื่อง EA สมมุตินะ แล้วก็เป็นระบบที่เป็นแบบ Oracle อะไรเงี้ย แต่เราเชี่ยวชาญ SAP อะไรเงี้ย สมมุตินะ เราก็จะไม่รับไง นึกออกเปล่า?
เรา
มันจะมี
ประเด็
บาน ง
คือเราไม่รับไม่ได้เลยสิครับ
มันจะมี
จริง
บา
เห
ง
รอ?
ส่วนใหญ่ไม่เคยรับ ใช่ เราต้องมาจัดการเรื่องข้างหลังบ้านเอง เรื่องคนเอ
อ๋อ
ง
มันจะมี
ไม่
บาง
อันนี้
บ
เพิ่
ริ
ง
ษั
รู้
ทอะที่แบบว่า resource เขาอาจจะสกิลไม่ถึง แต่เขาอยากจะรับงาน
อา
ด้วยเหตุผลที่ว่า
ใช่
เขาจะมี evidence ไง ถ้าเขาทำ success
อ๋อ
แต่ทีเนี้ยมันก็อยู่กับลูกค้าว่า ลูกค้าจะต้องพิจารณาเขาให้ดี ก่อน ที่
ก็
จะ
จ
เลื
ริ
อก
ง
เขา
เนาะ
ไง
ถูกเปล่า?
เพราะนั้น มันก็เลยอยู่กับ จริง ๆ เรื่องพวกนี้อยู่กับ คอนเน็กชัน ด้วย ลูกค้าบางเจ้าก็ โอเค เพราะว่าอาจจะมี คอนเน็กชัน อะไรกัน หรือว่าอาจจะมองว่า เรื่องของราคา อยากได้ราคาถูก
อื
อะไร
ม
เงี้ย ก็ take risk
ใช่
ก็ take risk ไป แต่ว่าอัน
ใช
เนี้ย
เรื่
เล
อง
ย
ของราคา
เลยมองว่าเป็นเรื่องของ อาจจะเป็นเรื่องของ people skill กับ people competency นะ
ประมาณนี้
กำลังคิดว่าจริง ๆ อะ
อ้าว
มัน
ตอบ
น่า
ไม่ได้แล้ว
จะ ปัญหาเรื่อง cost estimation เหรอ กำลังพยายามคิดอยู่ cost estimation น่าจะมาจากการ estimate cost ที่ไม่ครบสโกปตั้งแต่ตอนแรกด้วยอะ
พิมพ์เพิ่มได้ไหม?
มันพิมพ์ได้แค่นี้เหรอ?
โอ๊ย พิมพ์ไม่ได้แล้วอะ
เต็ม
ทำ
แล้
ไง
วเหรอ?
อะ? อยากพิมพ์อีกเหมือนกันอะ ทำไงดีวะ? เดี๋ยวก่อนนะ อัปโหลดไหม? แต่ว่าเราต้องพิมพ์ที่อื่น เดี๋ยว
เราก็
อัปโหล
แปะ
ด
อั
ให้
นนี้ไปก่อน 1 แล้วเราก็แปะทับไป 2 แปะทับไป 3 เลย
ได้ ๆ group 1 อ้าว พิมพ์ตัวเลขไม่ได้อีกเฉย part 1 โอเค public ไปก่อน ต่อครับ อะไรนะ เมื่อกี้คุณแนนว่าไงนะ?
พี่พยายามคิดอยู่ว่าเวลาคอร์สมันรัน overrun ไปเยอะ ๆ มันเกิดจากอะไรบ้างวะ?
ต้องมีกรณีแบบว่าทีมออกกระทันหันไหมคะ?
อันนี้แหละครับที่เด็ดเลย อันนี้ก็มี
แล้ว
ส่ว
มัน นก
นะ
ระทบคอร์สไหมคะ
เป็นเรื่
ก
อง
ระทบครับ
conflict เหรอ? หรือว่าไง?
แบบเขาอาจ
มั
จะ
นก็
มีอะไรที่ดีกว่า แล้วก็ไปที่อื่น
ใช่ อันนี้
ก็
เลย
มี
อั
ส่วน
นี้เลย
นะ
ครับ ที่เด็ดเลยครับ ปัญหาเนี้ย แล้วกว่ามันจะหาคนมาได้ครับ มันไม่ได้ใช้เวลา บางทีไม่ใช่เดือนเดียวอะ
กำลังแอบคิดว่าโดยประสบการณ์ของตัวเองอะ รู้สึกว่าทุกครั้งที่มีปัญหา cost estimation น่ะ คือเราทำราคาไปแล้วอะ แล้วเราบอกหัวหน้าว่าลดไม่ได้แล้วพี่ เอาเท่านี้ แล้วหัวหน้าไปลดอีก แล้วสุดท้ายได้
กลั
พ
ว
รอ
ไม่
เจ
ได้
กต์
งาน
มา
นะครับ กลัวไม่ได้งาน
แล้วสุดท้ายได้พรอเจ
อ๋
ก
อ
ต์มา ซึ่งคอร์สมัน overrun ไง แล้วคือไงอะ คือ อันเนี้ย อย่างเงี้ย ไม่รู้จะเขียนว่ายังไง มันเป็น มันมาจาก long decision from top management
เข้าใจนะ แบบ บางทีเหมือนเราอยากทำ แต่ว่า เหมือนมันก็ต้องมีเรื่องขององค์กรเนาะ หมายความว่า อยากจะประมูลให้ได้ แต่ว่า นั่นแหละ เข้าใจ
โอเค น่าจะ ประมาณนี้แหละมั้ง พี่เต้ยมีอะไรเพิ่มเปล่าคะ?
กำลังนั่งอ่านอยู่เขาบอกว่ามันเป็น lack of information ก็น่าจะเป็นเรื่อง requirement นะครับ
ใช่
แล้วก็ lack of practice อันนี้ก็น่าจะเป็นเรื่องของทีมเรา know how น่าจะหมดแล้วครับผมว่าคือคอร์สมันไม่โอเวอร์แต่ว่าเรา estimate ฟังก์ชันน่ะน้อยกว่าความเป็นจริงมันก็อาจจะทำให้คอร์สมันผิดก็ได้ปะมันใส่ได้ยังอันเนี้ย
แปลหน่อย ไม่เข้าใจ
ก็คือเหมือนว่าเราตอนที่เราคิดราคาเขาเราอาจจะมองสิ่งที่เราต้องทำเป็นพวกฟังก์ชันอลต่างๆนู่นนี่นั่นเรามองไม่ครบไงเพราะว่ามันก็ยากที่ใครจะเขียน requirement มาได้เคลียร์แบบเคลียร์100%มันไม่มีครับมันส่วนใหญ่จะเป็นการพูดคุยแล้วก็ลงหลักเพราะฉะนั้นไอ้ฟังก์ชันบางอย่างที่เรา estimate คนกับวันไว้มันบางทีพอมันยากอย่างเงี้ยมันก็เลยใช้เวลาเยอะก็ใช้เวลาเยอะมันก็โดนเรื่องของแมนเดย์ไปครับคอร์สมันก็บวม
ก็คือ cover task ที่สำคัญไม่หมด
ใช่ครับก็อาจจะ cover ทางที่สำคัญไม่หมดอาจจะคือไม่รู้ว่าไอ้เทคโนโลยีที่เราหยิบมาใช้มันใช้ได้จริงเรายังไม่ได้ POC มาเลยอะไรเงี้ยนี่แหละนะครับมันก็อาจจะเป็นประเด็นมันก็จะเทคไทม์ขึ้นอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
incompletely incompletely คนส่งกันนะประมาณนี้เนอะ
กำลังคิดว่าทำไมเมื่อกี้เห็นโผล่มีกลุ่มหนึ่งใหม่กลุ่มอีกอันหนึ่งก็เลยงง
คือจริงๆมันต้องเป็นแบบให้กดบวกข้างล่างได้แต่ว่าอาจารย์เขาทำมาแปลกๆไม่แน่ใจเหมือนกันเขาน่าจะตั้งเซตติ้งผิดตอนทำเทมเพลตนะ
Recording in progress.
Welcome back, everyone. So tell us what you have discussed. So should I follow the team number based on your like 1, 2, 3, 4, or anyone wants to go first? Okay, let's do it 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Yeah. So team number 1, would you like to go first and tell us what was your discussion?
Okay. Yes. Would you mind if I would like to share screen?
Sure. But give me a second. Eh? I can also bring all of you together. Does it fine? Okay.
Okay. It's better.
Yeah. So probably here. Yeah.
It's quite. Would you mind? You have to zoom in because I cannot read my.
Oh. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for the group one. We have a two parts because it's the limitation of the text that or the Padlet that we cannot try in the one. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
First, we think about unpredictable certainty factor like currency because in some the logistic or the consumption we have to be keep estimation the cost in advance, but in fact we when the situation come when we order some the how to say the construction thing that the currency is affect for the cost estimation. That's why the first is the currency, and number 2 is the change in the user requirement because some at the first that we we end the decision together, but when the time fly after that the user have changed, maybe some policy from the top management, something like that. We have to change some user need to be changed in the user requirement. The third one is the top management decision change because it might be average organization change or something like that, we have to be changed in the top management team that affect to the project management team, and because some top management have someone to have a authority to be decision about the direction of the project, something like that. The first one is a mismatch because sometimes we have to be we have to be accept the project that we haven't an expertise in some way, like some task or skill in competency or technology, but you change very fast. That our team doesn't have a skill that's match for the project, but that we have to be accept because of some this project can be created for fine to be for the organization, something like that. And the fifth is the turnover in team. I mean that when we are during the project's duration, one of our team is how to say quit or to be leave for the team because some reason that we have to be find someone to be take place in is quite a little bit hard because project is running out, but my team is disciplined, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
The sixth is the estimation cost wrong from the beginning or initiate because at first let's say we estimation the cost for example $1 million. But when we talk to the top management, they decided that is this quite a little too high or too expensive. You have to be that's the cost estimation to the 10%, 50% because it is affect to the when we bidding the project, something like that. Okay. And the seventh last one is incompletely covered task for team member. I mean that we might be because when we start the project, we have to be manage. Let's say the Gantt chart. But in some task we cannot cover or we cannot see it completely to cover the task. That's why the project might be below and the cost might be estimation because sometimes didn't incomplete.
Excellent.
Yes.
It's marvelous. I mean, really good understanding. So you started with that things got changed, logistics, some kind of changes, and then like uncertainty is related to the logistic, right? And then change is like a user don't want to get the same product anymore. And then you got maybe like trouble with the management team got changed. You got problem with the skill in the technology. So the technology that we are using right now, 10 years later, maybe we have a better technology. So why we need these same things, And then also the team member maybe leave the team, the organization structure got changed, right? And then also the cost estimation at the beginning, maybe it was wrong even. And when you think that like a incomplete cover of the task, so some of the tasks that you feel this is important only after 5 years later. So this kind of cause maybe really big problem for the organization project, handling the project. Okay, perfect, very good. Thank you so much. Let's go to the team number 2. Could you please share with us some of your understanding?
Okay, from team number 2, the reason for the project fail discussed. The first is change in material cost, including like inflation and time value of money, something like that. And the second is delay in project that the project manager can control of. So the project have to be increased in man hours and other costs. And next is about for the project. So the manager needs to take like to learn to fail, something like that. So it's gonna be increase in cost. And next is no buffer rate. Like when we set for the project, we should set like for the buffer rate that the variance like about 5 to 10% or something like that.
Right.
And the last is about not review for the like learn from experience. how the experience end up fail or end up success.
Yeah.
And get for the experience to take this project better in cost management.
Yeah, fabulous, fabulous, very nice. So what I can see interesting here is that the inflation, yeah. So we budget something and we say 5 million or 5 billion, right? Like the Berlin project, the Germany's project. Yeah. But then influence took place, things got changed, and it's become the 12 billion. So it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And then also like the man hour. So you estimate some time and then things got changed. Like this project, the one we were talking about, the Germany's project, when they started working, they didn't think about the environmental issues. And they found now that to build these things, they have a lots of environmental damage, and to protect the life, wildlife, even for one single wildlife, they need to spend $10,000. So more videos are in YouTube. You can watch it later. So what I've observed from your presentation that a project estimation, I mean, what you said is it's difficult if we don't have all this data from the previous project, what was got failed or what was got success. We don't have that information, along not enough experienced people, and then also not the buffer rate, so inflation, all these things, a project could get failed. Thank you so much. Really good understanding. Yeah, let's move to the team number 3. Could you please?
Okay, so for our group, the first one is because of the change in environment that we like haven't planned before, so we have like to use more money to pay more. Yeah, like cost the failure of the cost estimation, and the second one is area on the duration estimation, that when we cannot the project in the time that we like expect, so we have to like pay more for the longer duration. And the third one is we do not do like feasibility assessment before like start the project. So we should do the research that on that if the project is like profitable or like good to like invest or not before like start the project. And then the fourth one is like the previous team about the buffer rate. We have like to have the reserve fund for like unexpected factor. And the fifth one about the over or underestimate cost management, that we like estimate lower or higher as the cost. And the next one is change in technology, like the external factor that we didn't like estimate before, so we have to like pay more. Yeah. And the last one is about the control the project, the budget that we do not have to, we have to like do it properly. Yes.
Yeah,
so
I think pretty much interest. I mean, very good, and pretty much the same thing came from the previous team. But one thing is really interesting from your presentation. What I found is a change in the technology. Yeah. So when you say about the change in technology, project even got failed because of this simple thing. The technology right now we are using, it's gonna be obsolete after 10 years. So guess what? The whole budget, whole estimation actually took place based on this technology. But 10 years later, we have the different technology, right? And we can't use it. And the whole money become worthless. So really interesting point came from your part.
Technology really changing fast,
Yeah, very fast. Thank you so much. Very good. Let's move to the team number 4.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very clear.
Okay, thank you. For the first one on our group that we have been discussed is about the hidden requirements. The hidden requirement is mean something like when you go to something like this and like the customer maybe doesn't like it at all or doesn't want something to what like buy three get one free or something like that. So it can be a problem. Yes. The next one is unclear scope. Since if we don't have a scope, you can do something that unnecessary to do. So it may be effect on the cost. Yes. The next one is inventory and management because this one is a little bit crucial. If you have like you buy something very fast and you have to pay for that inventory cost for no reason, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to buy something in batch, but you have to calculate the transportation cost too. So there is some time like in my field that I have been studying while I was in bachelor is called something like EOQ, something like that. The next one is time.
Yeah.
The time is very one of the crucial one because if you didn't manage time well, the tardiness, the lateness can become the crucial factor. You may got the backlog cost, which is very cost a lot of cost. Yes. The backlog cost, and there is a lot of stuff. If you didn't manage well, like you may have to pay for more time, like maybe idle time for some human resource or something like that. That is not unnecessary. So the time management is one of crucial in my opinion. And the scope, like you have to get the scope from the customer very clearly, so you can deliver the product or the thing that the customer wants. Yes, just like that. And if you have a poor resource utilization as well, is also maybe cost a lot of money and unnecessary waste or something like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Very nice. What I want to take from you is the hidden requirement. Yeah. So when we go for making some project, yeah, we know all this requirement as much as we can, but there are some hidden thing. So buy one free one that we didn't know. So what happened after like a 6 month gone, and we realized that, oh my goodness, we need to pay somewhere is actually more than what we're supposed to pay. And eventually got failed. And if it is a small thing, it's really okay. The project can manage. I can tell you one good example from the actually from London. Yeah, in the London city, there is a big tower building, also known as the worst building in the city building, and it was actually sold for the company called. It's basically a Hong Kong-based company buy this building. I'll show you the picture after that. The building, when they made it, they didn't think about like the the glass made building, right? So it has some sort of reflection of the sunshine. So when the sunshine hit directly on the building, what happened? It's caused too much heat on the ground. And some people came up with the egg and they also fry the egg simply because of the heat from the building. So what turned out that the environmental cost for this project was not calculated properly. So then later on, they had to build up some sort of, setup so that the sunshine don't hit too much for the people who are living next to that big building. Yeah. Before we finish the class, I will share with you the video link. You can go and watch it. And there are thousands of examples similar like that, that you start a project and then all of the sudden 6 months or 1 year later, you find that there is a hidden cost that you can't realize at the beginning. Yeah, excellent. Team number 5, would you like to go ahead?
Okay. For group 5, the first one is, of course, about an uncertain event or condition like COVID-19, as everyone knows. Yeah. And the second, it's about poor communication between stakeholders. It might be from top to down or down to top, like, and how to communicate, like we all work from home. And about the technology, about how to communicate with not face to face. It might be difficult to control cost in time like that. And next one is about exchange rate. Of course, about world economy is change every years. About the conflict between countries, maybe cause to change the exchange rate. And the next one is about logistic costs. It's improved from transportation. You might remember about the case Suez Canal, like ever. Yeah, it may be cause it unexpected cost. And it could be include like inventory and warehouse cost management. And the next one is regulation change, about tax, about law policies, something like that.
Yeah.
And the last one is errors in project design. It could be like structure design, material, and the design that useful or effective in the last 10 years, it might not be useful now, something like that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All are interesting point, but I take one point from you is the uncertain event. I call it the business turbulence. Yeah. So we start to fly and then all of the sudden turbulence started and then we don't know how to do, right? So in the business world also we have a turbulence, and when the business start running, we see something happen that we have no control. So we're gonna look on these kind of things end of our presentation today. Actually, the latter part of the discussion, we're gonna look on how the project should be managed when there is a turbulence start, because we have no control anyway. So thank you so much everyone for sharing your interesting thought. I really like it, and I wish I could recommend a big point for you for Ajahn Peter. I will tell him to give you everyone good point. Yeah, you did very well. Thank you. So let's go to my slide. Can you see my slide? You can see my slide, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you see the things that you said. I try to summarize all these things. Yeah. Look, there are certain things that are pretty natural, pretty normal. And the project manager, these guys are the smart people anyway. They have a lot of, experience, and then they know how to handle it. So they try to get the few things from very beginning, like the inflation. They try to understand the inflation rate in the country. So they don't have this kind of problem. What happened, maybe it's possible sometime, but in general, they calculate the inflation rate. What could also happen, like some of the things that they had no idea, we call it hidden cost. They try to keep some sort of budget, yeah, for these kind of things. But in general, the project got failed. Basically, like here is the few reason that you can see. I try to go one by one. The first thing is the plan horizon. If the project is, let's say, happen in next 1 week time, you know everything. It's pretty much easy for you to calculate all these things. Yeah. So you know that how many things you have to do. Let's say it's an event, then you know whom you want to invite and how you're going to handle the whole event, uh, the food arrangement, the security system, all these things you can do it very well. But what if the project will take place 1 year later from now, and it's a big event, but 1 year later things are not pretty much clear, like lots of uncertainties are there that you don't know right now. Yeah. So like a COVID-19 situation, similar like that, there could be some more turbulence that we have no idea. So if the project is close to us, we are in a better off. But if the project is very long, then there is like a 5 year or 10 years later, or the 10-year time, the whole project, then we have this kind of situation that you guys said. Project duration. So when we start the project, we start with technology, some sort of technology. Right? If you think about a project started sometime on 1997, yeah, that time having one computer was good enough. But today, that same computer is no more useful, right? So we need the different technology. And there was no idea about the iPad, smartphone, or the touch phone. All this idea was not there. So they calculate and new technology came, things got completely changed. People, who is estimating for you? Is it someone who has a loss of experience, or is it someone who just come into the company? If someone having a long experience probably can do much better estimation for you. And therefore, some people suggest, some of the researchers, they suggest that don't go for 1% estimation, go for several estimation, different estimation. So you have one estimation, two estimation, three estimation, and then you try to combine all of it. So you get better off. Project structure and organization. Yes, sometimes you face that the people got changed, new people came up, new leadership came up, team member got changed, they had to go for some other project. So that could be a big cause, a big problem for your company. Yeah. What else? The pairing estimation. Pairing estimating is an idea that you need to understand. Let's say if I ask you how I stay in, let's say I'm right now in Thammasat Thapachan campus. I want to go to Suvarnabhumi Airport. How long it may take? Anyone can tell me? The driving, I want to drive. Any idea?
Maybe take MRT.
No, if I want to drive, how long it may take? Yeah, 1 hour, 20 minutes. Yeah, some of your friends said. What if I drive during the time of daytime and there is a loss of traffic jam? How long it may take? Maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes or 40 minutes or not more. Yeah, 2 hours, highest maybe like 2 hours. But what if I drive right now? It's a 7 p.m. and I want to reach there. How long it may take? 45 minutes, not more than 1 hour, right? So that's the difference. When I say, let's say if I say you that, you have to go to the airport and a prime minister from some countries, or maybe like a ambassador or the CEO of the company is coming for our company or for visiting us, how long you will take? In general, we take the longer time. We say, I need 2 hour time because it's like a VIP, right? We don't want to be late there when they already there, right? But what if I say, like my friend is coming up and if I even late for 20 minutes, my friend will stay there, we'll have the coffee there. So on that case, I had no rush. I can say, okay, as long as you, drop, you land in the airport, let me know, give a call. By the time you finish your immigration, I will be right there. Yeah. So meaning that I feel that when someone is very important, I take longer time. When someone is very close to me, important maybe, but very close and 20, 30 minutes is not matter, then I take less time. Some of the project manager take longer time to complete the project. But the smart organization that I was trying to say, they don't allow the pairing time. They said, no. You have to tell us exactly the time that you need. So if you need 1 hour time, or if you need, $10,000, has to be very specific. But you can't take the pairing estimation. You can't take longer. You need 1 hour, you take 1 hour only. You need 2 hours, take only 2 hours. You can't give you 2 hour, 20 minutes. Yeah? So pairing maybe not allowed for some organizations. So that's called the organization culture. Some organization, they accept this kind of pairing, but some others don't accept it. Yeah? Some others say, no. You have to complete within a specific time. Some other organization, you'll find that, you know what, you should write 1 hour, but taking 1 more hour is okay, we are friend anyway. So that's a different culture. So you have to understand what culture you are. That's why I was referring to that, the map where you want to be if you got a chance to be a project manager. So if you are in Korea, you got to be careful about the padding time. You can't take longer. You can't take longer. You have to be very specific. And then finally, another things come up, another other factor, which is some countries has the national holiday, uh, which is, like a Thailand. I like the Thailand because we have many holidays, right? That's birthday, that's, historical day and so many other things. So good. I mean, not bad. But some of the countries, you find that national holidays are not that many, maybe like very limited number of national holiday. Is it good or bad? That's a different question. But the thing is, it's gonna affect your project. If you have a longer holiday in one country, your project could be very late. But in other country, it could be faster. So in general, researchers say that there are basically 7 reasons for a project to be got fail or to be delayed in terms of estimation. Anyone wants to add some more point here? Or anyone got any question about this, discussion? So in general, I make fun with my students. I say, if you don't have question, it means that you don't understand. Or maybe you understand everything. So which one is correct? Maybe you understand everything, so you have no question. Yeah, that's one thing. Or you don't understand anything, that's why no question teacher anyway. So which one is correct here? Right? Just kidding. Okay. So I hope you got the idea. And if you have some question, we can talk after that. But these are the main reason for a project to be fail in terms of its estimation. Yeah, it may not be the very correct estimation because of these are the main reason. Now, plus, what I want to do is I was thinking to go for some more activities together where I want to I want to ask you a question, how to make sure the quality of the estimation. But I look on my watch, it seems like we are running out of time. So therefore, I want to ask you now, it's an open question for everyone, how we can make sure that the quality of estimation, how can we do something so that we can make sure that our estimation is very correct? Anyone can tell me, help me in this regard. So the question is how to make sure the quality of the estimation. So the estimation that we make is a very correct. How can we make sure? Any comment, anyone?
Can we check with the previous project? I mean the historical cost.
Yeah.
To compare.
Right. So you got the previous data and look on the same data, how it was very expensive or how much it was. So you got the data and you use it. Yeah. Thank you. Any other? Yeah.
I think maybe later when you complete the estimation, you can be later someone who have a experience or have a chance to be familiar with some part of the estimation to be a check for a reference or something that it might be help you to be more accuracy.
Yeah, you are very correct. You are very correct. So anyone else got some more point here? Yeah. Okay. If no question, then I'm going to tell you that yes, what you said is a good point. But let me share with you my screen also. So here you can see that these are the things that we can do to make sure that our project is running according to our target. So the first thing is the responsibility. Estimate should be made by the person most familiar with the task. As your friend just now mentioned that experience someone, yeah, you look on the previous data. So if someone got the experience and someone has this kind of, know everything very specifically, can do better for you. Rather than you ask for one person, you go for several person and try to get the chance of better reasonable and realistic estimation. Yep. And when you do the estimation, consider the situation as a normal time. It's not the situation of COVID-19, not the situation of something very serious, but it's a normal time and we go with the normal budget because if we let's say I do have a little business, and then when I talk with my customer, I need to give them the price, which is very competitive market price. If I give like a $5 more, I afraid my customer maybe go and find other customer, other supplier. So that's the things. When your price is based on some sort of assumption that hey, we might have some sort of environmental issues or political things, then you might be in trouble. So in general, when they estimate, you should consider as a normal condition. Time unit asks all time estimation, all task time estimates and need consistent time unit. So you can't say that, I'm going to complete these things in a 1 month time. And other person says, I'm going to complete in a 3 days time. Sorry, like a 3 normal day. And you talked about the month. So is problem. Why it's problem? Because is it month, all the estimation is in the month basis, or is it based on the day basis? What's the problem? Because when we go for calculating in the latter part of the project management, you will see that we need to develop the network. So we need to have the similar unit. Again, another thing, when we estimate the time, we have to either select the day, or we have to select the month, or we have to select the hour. We cannot have the different unit. Again, when it comes to the estimation of the cost, we can't say US dollar in some place, and then another place we say Thai baht, another place we say, British pound. That will make the things completely useless. You have to come with single unit. Either you go for the Thai baht, or you go for the British pound, or you go for the USD. When you go for estimation, you need to, create the WBS. Anyone can tell me what is called WBS?
Work breakdown structure.
You are very correct. So when we do the estimation, we divide the work breakdown structure. We divide it into different parts, right? Now, each of the work, we have to make sure that it's a independent. It's not connected with one another. So if number A, we have to complete number A. B is different. C is different. So all are different. And we have to treat each of them independently. Work package estimation should not include allowance for that contingency. So again, the contingency. Anyone can tell me what is called contingency? Yeah, in a easy definition, contingency can be considered as a second plan. So you have the plan one, plan B. So if there is some problem, then we go for the plan B. So that kind of things are not allowed when we do the estimation. We only go for one estimation, not the two. Okay? Adding risk assessment to the estimate help to avoid the surprise, yeah, to the stakeholder. So you should have some sort of risk assessment. Some tasks carry more time and cost risks than other. So you find out these are the things specific. So not all the work we go for padding. but we identify some of the risky job that these are the things could be troublesome. So you only go for this task. Don't allow the pairing as a culture in the whole organization. So these are the few guidelines that the researcher developed over the time, that if you want to make a estimation very correct, these are the things you should follow. Any question up to here? If not, let's go for a break. We come back after 10 minutes and then we can continue our discussion. Yeah. So 10-minute break from now, we will come back after 10 minutes. Yeah. All right, class, please come back. Class it, okay, so where we were talking about the estimation and then causes of failure, I would say. Yep. And we try to understand the guideline, what we can do if we want to make sure that the costs are well organized, yeah? Or I would say that well planned. Yeah? Now, in the next part, what I'm going to ask you that I'm sure some of you are practicing in the organization, or if you are not working, you probably have some sort of experience working with the different kind of small or the big organization. Or if not, even you should have some experience with working with the different kind of club. So when we go for estimation, how we actually do the estimation? Anyone get any idea? Like now we are going to estimate. How are we going to do that? MS Project as a tool? Yes, probably you are correct. Yeah, what else we can do? So based on my experience as well as my research knowledge and the study from the book, I have seen that there are many ways of doing the things. For example, sometimes we go for looking on the previous data, some of your friends say, right? And then we use the sensor method, or sometimes we use the ratio method, different kind of method we use to get the actual budget. We also use some sort of experience from the top level management. So top level management, they plan for it, and then they tell others that, you know what, you have to do this one. So in general, the organization, there is two types of estimation. Yeah. So the first one, we call it the I'm going to show my slide with you so that we can go together. Yeah, here we go. So the first one is the top-down approach, and another one is the bottom-up approach. Yeah. So when the top management, they use their experience, use their information, and to determine the cost, or sometimes they made the decision based on their their network. It has a good thing that because they have a long experience and they work for this organization for quite a long time, so they can guide you. This is one good thing. But sometimes it's happened that they also plan the wrong thing. So one of the things I was reading, and it says that a city corporation mayor, he want to make some estimation. So then, he want to build a bridge for a river. Yeah? So he met with a local contractor in a lunch meeting, and then the contractor, told him all these expenses and probably start writing on the napkin. And then he gave some sort of budget, like, okay, these kind of things, it's like a maybe like 10 million is good enough, or like a 40 million is good enough. So you see, this kind of estimation is not the correct estimation, because this contractor, he has his personal interest, and of course he didn't got better understanding. Not enough time to meet with his committee, his team member, and discuss about the plan. Rather, he just sat with the mayor, and then while discussing about the a possible bridge construction, he said 40 million. And that's become the budget for this project. Guess what? It's highly possible that this budget doesn't work properly. Yeah, you can see this kind of similar experience in all types of industry. Yeah, especially it happened with the IT industry also. Sometimes the IT expert, they talk with the big company, or they talk with the people in the government level, and they just simply give a budget. Yeah, because it's like getting contract is the more important thing. Successful contract is not the main target because it's politically biased somehow. Yeah? So that kind of things could happen. But there is another approach, which is bottom-up approach. In the bottom, we look on the WBS, and based on the WBS, we plan for the budget. Or we go for the work package and associate cost, and then we try to come up with a budget. Yeah? Now the question is, which one is good for the business? What do you think? If there is two things, bottom down or the top to down or bottom up, which one you're gonna select?
I think it depends on time you have for the project estimation.
Okay, so it's a time. If you have a long time, then which one you're gonna select? Top down or the bottom up?
If we have enough time, we should do bottom up approach.
Okay, thank you. Very nice answer. Very good. Anyone else wants to make some more comment here?
I think bottom-up approach is more accurate and maybe easy to gather information, but maybe it's more expensive.
Yeah, sometimes it could be very expensive. Yeah. Okay, any other? Yeah, I think I do agree with both of you that it depends on the situation, depend on so many other things. So here is a small table that I try to bring the both kind of things. Yeah. Can you have a quick look and then we can talk? So when you go for the estimating the time and cost, actually I prefer to go together, time and cost, because somehow they are very connected with each other. Yeah. So if it is a strategic decision making, which is macro estimation, what we're gonna do in the whole organization for next 10 years. Yeah. Wow. So it's depend on more on the top level. What you are thinking. I can give you one example. For example, Steve Jobs, like 1998, when he was thinking about the, MacBook, and later on when he actually entered in the company, he set up a special committee. This committee, not the committee, it's a team, and he himself involved that team. The team used to known as a Mac team. Yeah. And he gave the high priority for the MacBook, thinking that this gonna be something great innovation for the company, not only for 1 or 2 years, but for the long run of the company. So if something like a strategic kind of direction project, then top management or the top-down approach should be accepted, or we should follow the top-down. When the cost and time is important, as your friend mentioned, that we don't have enough time, or when we don't have enough budget, we need to quickly, do the things. It's like more like our estimation will cost the whole organization situation. So if I spend more time, if I spend more, cost, then then one thing. But if I have another issue, like I don't have much time, I don't have the enough cost. So if you have enough time and cost, then it's better to go for bottom down, where you can go micro each thing very clearly, and you have time, no problem, you can do it. High uncertainty, it's something related to the company existence, then it should be top down, and the engagement of the top down should be there. Internal is small, which is known to the project manager, I mean the top level of the organization. They know what would be the cost for this kind of small thing, so they can easily give the budget, and that there is no need to come up with a long time spending for developing the budget plan and all these things. Fixed price contract, so we know this is a fixed price contract, so we have to take with this one. In that case, is a micro estimation is important, because if we can't save the money, we'll be in trouble. Customer want details. Sure, you have to go for micro estimation. Unstable scope. So you have not sure whether this project will continue like that way, or something may happen. It could be political, it could be some sort of legal, environmental. So the project management needs to go for macro estimation, and the top-down approach is fine. Now, in the next third part, we're going to look on each of these top-down and bottom-up approach, and we will go quickly and see how it's happened in the organization level. Any question for this part? Okay. So top-down approach, the number of things that we can do for the top-down, but here's the few things that the companies prefer. So first of all is the sensor method. You look on the sensor data and you estimate, okay? You don't need to worry about it. Ratio method, okay, we go for each ratio. So 20% for this one, 30% this one, and then that's how we divide, yeah? Ratio, we follow the ratio. Apportion method is again, so these are the job is a very important, so we give the more priority here. And then these are the things is the less important, we give less priority here. So it's like the top management, they look on the things and then they immediately select, oh, this one I will spend more money, this one we will spend less money, and that's how they fix it out. Function point method is a kind of software that you can use, that using the software, you quickly identify what are the things you should go and what are the things you shouldn't take, and how much you spend for what you call activity 1, how much you should spend for the activity 2, something like that. Learning curve, we look on the data and we figure out where is the budget. I mean, this is the project we did before. It's a 10 storage building, and we know what other things happened before. So based on that things, we use the curve that this person will spend for the piling of the building. This much will be used for the building construction, interior. So we look on the learning curve and we plan for it. So this is called top-down approach. So here you can see that some of the example of apportion. Yeah. So we're gonna, for the design 20%, program 30%, test like this way. We divide the whole thing based on portion. And this is an example of the function point count. Yeah. So we try to understand what's the lower cost, average cost, and high cost. Yeah. All the 3 situations. And then we bring it in the real level. So with this one, I understand this is will be the exactly the low cost. based on my experience, because I'm top level working for here a long time. And this one, I know this is the average cost. This one, maybe something's uncertain, so we keep the high cost. So we look on all these expenses, all these activities, and then we figure out how we're gonna spend the money for the project. Again, this is top-down approach. In the top level, they plan for it. The down people implement these things. Yeah, learning curve based on our experience. This will be the cost, so we follow these things. Bottom-up approach. This is an approach that the companies use to figure out what are the possible costs, but it happened from the bottom to the top. Yeah? So you can see the template method. So the whole template we come up and we use our experience for each of the situation, and then we go one by one. So it's basically in the bottom level people, they work on it, they send it to the top level, and then it start implementing. Parametric procedure applied in the specific task. So some specific task, and we spend extra money, or we keep some priority here possible. Range estimation for the WBS. So we come up with a range. This is the cost, this is the cost. But basically it's like again, from the bottom to the up. Yeah. And here is the last one is the hybrid, which is combination of the template and the range of estimation. Yeah. So you use your experience and you try to understand the cost, the flow of the cost, and then you budget for it. Similar like that here. I mean, so these are the two approach that we just I want to share with you. Top down and bottom up. There are many different approaches, and today there are a number of companies they use the software. So software can guide, and you can look on the data from the previous data, and you can select either one. And the main point here is probably here that depend on the situation, we try to identify which approach is the best for our project. So each and every project is different for the organization. An organization have hundreds of projects in one single time. Some of the project is under the control of top-down approach. Some of the project could be bottom-up approach. Any question up to here? Yeah. Now, this is probably the simple part anyone can understand. Now, I want to bring you a situation which I call the situation of turbulence. Yeah? So we start working with some situation, and then we feel that we can do it very well, but time goes up, and it's turned out that we actually need to reduce the time, or we need to reduce the whole project duration, and how to handle it. So here's the things that I want to bring it. Managing the cost during turbulence. Yeah. Money is time is a money, right? So when we say that we're gonna do the project in let's say 1 year time or the 2 year time, okay? We calculate everything, and we understand that a project has a three constant. Number one is the time, scope, and the duration. Cost. Now, time is something very, very important for the project. Now, what happened? All of a sudden, we understand that we have to reduce the time. We agreed to make it in a 2 year time, but now we need to reduce the time. Have you ever faced this kind of situation? Let's say we want to build a bridge on Chapaya River. Yeah, the bridge will connect Sriraj Hospital with Thammasat University. Yeah, okay. Now, although we have another one, yeah, but now we want to make a bridge that can connect directly from Sriraj to that Thammasat, yeah, or the King Palace, that area. Now, we agreed to make these things in 3-year time or the 5-year time. And people are very happy, excited. Okay, we're gonna have a new bridge, so we don't need to use the ferry, or we don't have to wait for the ferry, or we don't need to go long drive up to, in the Rama Bridge or other bridge. We can straight away go to Tamara. Yep. Now, what happened after a year time? The Prime Minister came to visit the project, or the 2-year time, Prime Minister came to see the project. And he looked on the project and he quickly talked with the project manager. And in the big meeting, right, in the big audience with the public, he announced that we're gonna complete this project by next year. So it means that it's supposed to be 5 years, but all of a sudden, the Prime Minister and Cabinet, they decide to make it in a 3-year time. Wow! Each minute is important for a project. You know about it because in last class, I saw you had a discussion with other professor who talked about the time. Single minute is important, right? Now, all of a sudden, Prime Minister reduced 2-year time. And it's not only in Thailand, it's happened around the world. For political reasons, some of the demand of the market, the top of the organization had to take the decision like that. And nothing wrong on it. Many countries, they do these things. Now the question is, how as a manager, you're going to handle these things? Now, what are you going to do if you're a manager for this kind of project? Yeah, another reason could be like, it's maybe the time in the market pressure. I mean, the market want to get the things faster. So you see the COVID vaccine, yeah? It was a big run, right? Last year. And if the Pfizer were unable to make it, yeah, surely there could be another company. There could be some other companies. So it's a market pressure, and they made it as fast as they could. Yeah? Sometimes like unfortunate delays. So it's like some of the project activity 1 or 2 or the activity A, B, C take longer time than it's supposed to be. Or the incentive contract, the bonus is coming up. I mean, the company said, if you can make the project in a less than 2 months, we're gonna give you the bonus. Okay, so everyone excited in the team. Hey, we're gonna get that bonus. And it happened with the IT project so many times that you will see that the customer came and talked with your CEO of the company and saying that, you know what, the software that you are developing for me, I want you to make it by 6 months. Come on, we made a contract for 1 year. No, the customer want to get it by 6 months. And your CEO then claim for the compensation. So the company said, the customer said, okay, I'm going to increase 20% with a condition that you're going to give me the project in a 6-month time. In failure to do so, the contract is canceled. Now you have extreme pressure with this kind of things. Or it's also possible that the deadline that I said, that contract, they said, this is the deadline, please do it within a time. And or maybe like overhead, and the public goodwill, like a COVID case, right? If they delay, more people will die. So we need to make it faster. Pressure to move resource to from other projects. So you have you are doing the construction business, you have a 10 project at a time, and one of the project you need to reduce its time, because if you don't take the resource from here, then you cannot start with the other project. So this kind of situation happen, and companies had to, or the project manager had to reduce the time. If you are a project manager, what you gonna do with this kind of situation?
Revisit WBS first.
So
Yeah.
revisit the whole project, right? And then try.
Yes, the work breakdown structure and see if any work can be done parallelly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
if any task can put more, how to say, more man hour or manpower to get it done faster.
Yeah, very nice, excellent. What else we can do? What else we can do if we really want to reduce the cost? So I call it as a turbulence, right? You're a project manager and you face this turbulence, and you can't say, hey, you know what? I'm going to leave my job. It's impossible, because you are the CEO of the company and you publicly declared that we're gonna come up with a new product in a 6-month time. Impossible. I'm going to resign from this project. Well, you can say that. What's gonna happen? The company will do it anyway. You can resign. They will find somebody else. And in the IT industry, these things are very, very true. So again, what are you gonna do if you are the project manager? Any other thinking? Okay, put it like this way. Let's get 10-minute time to discuss with your friend, and I'm going to send you to the breakout room. Yeah? I want you to talk with your friend. If you are a project manager, what are you gonna do with this kind of situation? Okay, so I'm going to open the breakout room one more time, and this time I'm going to give you the 10-minute basically, and I want you to talk with your friend and see what you can do to save the project, or what you should do to save the project. Yeah? 10
ฮัลโหลทุกคนเราก็ไม่รู้ว่าอาจารย์ใช้เบรกเอารูมอาจารย์ก็ถามให้เราก็ตอบในห้อง
ขาดคุณหมิง
คุณหมิงเหรอคุยเลยก็ได้มั้ง
ได้เขาเสร็จเวลาด้วยก็คิดว่าอาจจะต้องแบบอย่างที่คุณแนนบอกแหละมาดูเบรกเอาwork breakdown structure ก่อนใช่ไหมว่ามันจะปรับอะไรบ้างอย่างแล้วอาจจะมีการแบบ move resource หมายความว่าบางโปรเจกต์แบบหมายความว่าในบาง timeline ก็มันอาจจะแบบ resource มันอาจจะเหมือนต้องโยกมาทำในบางงาน
มันทำพร้อมกันได้ไง
ใช่อะไรอย่างเงี้ยอะไรอย่างเงี้ยก็อาจจะโยก resource มาใช้แบบนู่นนี่นั่นแล้วก็เหมือนอาจจะเป็นสปิททีมคือหมายความว่าจริงๆคือเราสมมติเรามีคน10 คนใช่ไหมแต่ว่าเราใช้เวลาทั้งนี้แต่ว่าบางทีคือมันอินเทสมากคือหมายความว่ามันกดดันมากฉะนั้นเราอาจจะต้องแบบตัดสินใจที่จะแบบสปิทถือว่าเราอาจจะ5 คนไปทำอีกงานหนึ่งแล้วอีก5 คนก็มาทำงานที่มันอยู่แล้วอะไรเงี้ยเพื่อที่จะแบบอย่างน้อยคือให้มันมี complete บางอย่างโปรเกรสบางอย่างไปแล้วถ้าเกิดว่าโอเคงานนี้สุดท้ายแล้วทำเสร็จก่อนแล้วก็ค่อยแบบมูฟคนกลับมาช่วยในอีกทีมที่ยังไม่เสร็จนึกภาพออกใช่ไหมประมาณเนี้ยก็คิดว่าอาจจะช่วยได้แต่จากแรกความคิดของแรกไอเลยถ้าอยากให้เสร็จแล้วก็ให้เพิ่มเงินให้ฉันสิก็เพิ่มรีซอสให้ฉันสิก็คือเสร็จแล้วแน่นอนนี่ออกใช่ไหมถ้าอยากให้เสร็จแล้วขึ้น
แต่ว่ามันจะมีประเด็นเรื่องของ resource constraint ไง
อันนี้นี่คิดแบบโปรเจกต์แมเนเจอร์จริงนะครับไอ
ไม่ถึงใคร
มันมี
ไม่ถึงไอไม่หมายถึงไอใช่เขาบอกว่าโปรเจกต์แมเนเจอร์
ไม่ถึงความคิดไหน
ความคิดไอ
ไม่ถึง เพิ่มเงินกับเพิ่มคนเหรอ
ใช่
ก็มันจริงป่ะคุณเต้ย
เพิ่มเงินกับเพิ่มคนก็ทำได้ทุกสิ่งอยู่แล้วพี่เต้ย
เขาบอกว่า
เพิ่มคนให้ฉัน
โปร
สิ
เจกต์แมเนเจอร์ชอบคิดว่าคือผู้หญิงคนหนึ่งท้อง9 เดือนถึงจะแบบผลิตลูกได้1 คนถูกป่ะโปรเจกต์แมเนเจอร์จะคิดว่าอย่างนั้นก็เราใช้อะไรนะ ใช้ผู้หญิง9 คนมาผลิตลูกได้ภายใน1 เดือน
ฮะ
นึกออกไหม
อ๋อ
มันเป็นมุก
เข้าใจ
มันเป็นมุกอ่ะ
เออ
คือโปรเจกต์แม
เข้า
เน
ใจ
เจอร์
เข้า
ไม่
ใจ
จะคิดอย่างเงี้ย
ก็คือเหมือนก็เพิ่มคนก็เสร็จเร็วขึ้นก็เหมือน
ความหมายข
ซึ่
อง ง
มัน
พี่
เป็น
เต้
ไป
ย
ไม่ได้ไง
ความหมายของ
อ๋อ
พี่
ต
เต้
อย นแร
คื
ก
อว่า
กำลังนึกภาพก่อน
ความหมายของพี่เต้ยคือว่างานบางอย่างต่อให้เพิ่มคนน่ะมันก็ไม่เสร็จ
ใช่
เออ
คือโปรเจกต์แมเนเจอร์คิดว่า ผู้หญิงคนหนึ่งท้อง9 เดือนใช่ไหมถึงจะได้ลูก1 คน งั้นก็ง่ายๆ ก็ผู้หญิง9 คนก็ท้อง1 เดือนจะได้ลูก1 คน
เข้าใจ มันมี point นี้น่าสนใจในชีตของอาจารย์อีกหน้าหนึ่งอ่ะ มันจะมี point เรื่องของ reducing project scope หลังๆเห็นโปรเจกต์พวก construction project อะใช้วิธีนี้เยอะนะ คือเหมือนกับถ้าเปรียบกับแอปพลิเคชันโปรเจกต์ไอทีอ่ะก็คือเหมือนคล้ายๆกับว่าเอา core benefit ให้เสร็จก่อนอ่ะ แล้วอะไรที่เป็นยิบย่อยอ่ะไปทำที่หลังไปเก็บเป็นพันที่หลังอะไรอย่างเงี้ย อย่างเช่นสมมุติว่าเมื่อกี้อาจารย์บอกว่าสร้างอะไรนะสร้างบีชของอาจารย์คืออะไรวะ
สะพาน
ท่าเรือบริดเอาบริดเหรอ
สะพาน
ฟังอยู่นะ
ใช่
อ๋อคือบริดก็คือถ้าสร้างสะพานใช่ป่ะเราก็อาจจะมองว่า core benefit ของสะพานคืออะไรคือให้รถข้ามได้ใช่ป่ะเพราะฉะนั้นน่ะไอ้พวกแบบความสวยงามอ่ะอาจจะเอาไว้ที่หลังก็ได้อะไรอย่างเงี้ยป่ะก็
เห็นด้วย
จะได้
ครับเห็นด้วย
นึกออก
ให้มันไปเหยียบตลาดก่อนอ่ะ ให้มันเขาเรียกว่า
แต่
ไป
มันก็ไม่สวย มันก็
touch
เปิดตัว
market
ไม่อ
ก่อน
ลังป่ะนึกออกไหม
ก็แล้วแต่
มันก็
ก็นายกบอกอยากได้ปีหน้า
นึกออกไหมมันก็ไม่อลัง
ไม่เพราะว่าล่าสุดเห็นแบบไอ้ถนนตรงถ้าใครไปแถวไอ้เนี่ยแยกรัชโยธินจะเห็นว่าเขาตัดถนนใหม่ใช่ไอ้ที่เขาเจาะอุโมงค์เขาเรียกนะอุโมงค์ลอดแยก
หน้า
รัช
หน้า
โยธิน
SCB ใช่ไหมครับ
พี่เต้ยรู้ไหมวันที่นายกไปเปิดมันยังขีดเส้นถนนไม่เสร็จเลย ถนนทั้งเส้นนั้นไม่มีเส้นถนน
แต่โปรเจกต์นี้เสร็จเร็วกว่ากำหนดนะใช่ไหมเห็น
แต่
เขา
เสร็จ
คุย
เร็ว
อก ยู่
ว่ากำหนดรถวิ่งได้แต่ไม่มี
รถวิ่ง
เส้นถนน
ได้
เดาเอง
หรือว่า
เดาเอง
โอเค
ว่าอยู่เล
แล้ว
นไหน อันนี้เรื่องจริงก็เลยบอกว่าจริงๆมันก็ทำได้ อยู่ที่ตกลงกัน
โอเคนึกออก
คือถ้าเป็นโปรเจกต์ไอทีแบบอย่างเช่นสมมติแอปอย่างเงี้ยอันนี้ไอเดียผมนะมันอาจจะเป็นความคิดของผมคนเดียวคือเอาให้มันออกมาก่อนฟีเจอร์มันยังไม่ครบก็ได้ เพราะว่า
core benefit ก่อนใช่ไหม
ใช่ครับ อาจจะไม่ใช่ core benefit ก็ได้อาจจะเป็นอย่างเช่นแอปไลฟ์สตรีมทำให้มันไลฟ์สตรีมก่อนก็ได้อย่างฟีเจอร์อย่างอื่นไม่ต้องออก แล้วเราค่อยใช้วิธีการสื่อสารเอาครับ เพราะว่ากว่าที่มันจะทำเงินจริงก็ต้องใช้เวลาอยู่แล้วครับ แต่ยิ่งเราไปรอฟีเจอร์ killing feature อะไรเงี้ยผมว่ามันก็ช้าไป
เอาไปแล้ว
มันอาจจะไม่เอาแต่คนมันกว่าจะรู้จักคนกว่ามันจะมารอคนเข้ามาในแพลตฟอร์มได้มันใช้เวลาถูกปะยิ่งเราออกช้าก็มีปัญหานี่ไอเดียผมนะผมไม่รู้เหมือนกัน
มันเหมือนไอเดียของการทำอาจารย์เนาะคือหมายความว่าเหมือนแบบที่แยกเป็นสปินใช่ปะแล้วก็เหมือนแบบทำให้เสร็จในอย่างที่คุณแนนบอกแหละในส่วนของที่มันแอปที่มันควรจะทำได้ที่หลักๆมันก็จะทำได้แต่ว่าไอ้ additional อื่นก็คือก็เดี๋ยวค่อยๆพัฒนาออกไปทีหลังก็เพราะว่าเหมือนอย่างที่อาจารย์พูดบอกว่าบางทีคือถ้าเราร้อยไม่เสร็จทั้งหมดบางทีมันก็ช้าในแต่แรกหน่อยคือถ้าเราร้อนสอบไปแล้วมันอาจจะโอเคว่าแบบมันมีปัญหาอะไรไหมจะได้มาปรับแก้ทีหลังแล้วค่อยๆแก้ฟิกแก้บั๊กแก้แบบอะไรเรื่อยๆก็ค่อยๆว่าไปที่นี่เห็นด้วยนะอันนี้ช่วยเชิงของ IT นะแต่ว่าในเชิงของโปรเจกต์ที่มันเป็นแบบ construction หมายความว่าที่มันต้องเกิดก่อสร้างขึ้นมาอะไรเงี้ยก็เป็นไปได้อย่างที่คุณแนนบอกแหละแต่ว่าทั้งนี้ทั้งนั้นก็ขึ้นอยู่กับการตกลงของเรากับฝั่งที่เป็นคนที่เป็นถือสัญญาคู่สัญญาก็คือหมายความว่าโอเคแหละคือทุกคนรู้ว่าเป็นโควิดใช่ไหมแต่ว่าถ้าเกิดเราเบรกสัญญาคือหมายความว่าเราผิดสัญญาคือสัญญามันเขียนมาก่อนที่มันจะเกิดเหตุการณ์ที่แบบอะไรพวกนี้ขึ้นใช่ไหมมันก็ถ้าเกิดในเชิงกฎหมายถือเราผิดสัญญาเราต้องจ่ายค่าปรับแหละแต่ว่ามันก็จะมีวิธีการคุย อาจจะออกมาแก้สัญญาเดิมหรืออะไรเงี้ยไม่รู้เป็นไปได้ปะนะ
กำลังคิดตามไออยู่กำลังคิดว่ากำลังคิดว่าโดยปกติถ้าสโคปงานอ่ะมันคุยกันตั้งแต่แรกแล้วว่า3 ปีใช่อยู่ดีมาลดเวลาเหลือ1 ปีอ่ะทางเราอ่ะสมมติเราเป็นผู้ก่อสร้าง
มัน
เนี่ย
เป็นไปได้เหรอประเด็น
มันคุยได้แต่ว่าหมายถึงก็คือเหมือนที่ไอ้บอกไงคือต้องกลับไปคุยคอนแทคกันใหม่แล้วว่าคอนแทคคุย3 ปี
รีไวซ์
ใช่ทำรีไวซ์คอนแทครีแอดเดนดัมอะไรก็ว่าไปเพราะนั้นถ้าจะเอาภายใน1 ปีแล้วขอตัดสโคปนี้ออกไปทำควอเตอร์ปีหน้าอะไรเงี้ยก็ว่าไปก็ต้องกลับมาอากีกันใหม่
มันแหละมันก็เข้าใช่ก็เข้าใจ
ต้องอากีคอนแทคกันใหม่อะไรประเด็นสำคัญ
ใช่ก็คือมันก็มีอยู่2 ทางเนาะก็คือ exchange contact ในบางเฟสหรือว่าจะลดสโคปอย่างที่คุณแอนบอกแหละในบางอันที่เราอาจจะทำไม่ได้เพราะว่า3-4อะไรเงี้ยก็ว่ากันไป
ใช่ก็คงเริ่มจากแบบเอา work data structure มาดูความเป็นไปได้ก่อนใช่ป่ะแล้วความเป็นไปได้แล้วเราก็มองว่ามันก็ยังไม่ได้เนี้ยถ้ามันยังไม่ได้ก็คงต้องไปagree contract กันใหม่เพื่อลดสโคปบางอย่างออก
ก็จริงประมาณนี้
ประมาณนี้ไอ้นี่ของอาจารย์ก็จะมีที่เขาแนะนำใช่ป่ะมันก็จะมีเรื่องของแบบเอาซอร์สบางงานมันก็เหมือนเอารีซอสเพิ่มเลยเนาะก็คือเอารีซอสเพิ่มแต่เป็นรีซอสที่เป็นเอาซอร์ซิ่งมาอย่างนี้ป่ะแล้วก็จะมีสเกดู
ก็คือก็หาคน
แต่ว่าอันนี้ถ้าเป็นโปรเจกต์ไอทีมันก็มีประเด็นนะการคือถ้าสมมุติว่าระหว่างทางเราออฟซอร์สไปอ่ะมันจะมีปัญหาเรื่องของตัว knowledge transfer ด้วยครับกว่าที่ทีมเอาซอร์สจะทำงานได้จริงอ่ะก็กินเวลาอยู่เนาะ
ใช่
ครับ
งานบางอย่างไม่เร็วขนาดนั้นใช่อย่างเรื่องโอเวอ
ร์
ไทม์
มันไม่ได้ต่อกันติดเลยอ่ะ
ใช่ค่ะโอเวอร์ไทม์นี่จริงๆก็ไม่เห็นด้วยเพราะว่าสุดท้ายแล้วเพอร์ฟอร์แมนซ์คนน่ะทำเกินเวลามันก็ไม่ได้แบบเพอร์ฟอร์แมนซ์มันไม่ได้ไม่ได้80%ยังไม่ได้เลยอะถ้าโอเวอร์ไทม์
ค่อนข้างเรื่องเนี้ยก็คือ8 ชั่วโมงก็คือ8 ชั่วโมงครับโปรแกรมเมอร์
แต่โปรเจกต์แมเนจเมนต์แบบเก่าจะชอบแบบเอาก็โอเวอร์ไทม์ไปดิก็ทำไปดิ
คือให้ทำ OT คือแม่งสมองแม่งหมดแล้วอะ8 ชั่วโมง
สมองไหลหัวไหล
แล้วเดี๋ยว8 โมงเคยเจอโปรเจกต์นึงทำเชื่อแบบไม่มีเวลาซักเสื้อผ้าเสาร์อาทิตย์ก็ต้องมาทำงาน
ไม่มีเวลากินกาแฟเลยไม่ใช่ประมาณนั้นคุณไอพูด
Recording in progress.
So I believe you have a lovely discussion with your friends. Yeah, share with us some of your understanding, please. Anyone wants to go ahead first? Yeah. What do you think what we should do?
Actually, could you repeat your question, please?
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's like the thing is what you can do if you need to reduce the duration of the project. Like a project, we have the 3 things are fixed, right? You have the time is a fixed, you have the cost is a fixed, you have the scope that fixed. You cannot change it. But what if that you need to reduce the time because the prime minister came or the CEO of the company came and said that, you know what, we have to reduce the duration of the project. My question is, what are you going to do if you need to reduce the time of the project? Anyone got some answer for me?
Okay, let me start first. As far as I can see, at first, the first idea that come out with my mind is, if you would like the project to be shortening the project, something that you have to be, you have to be provide more money, but provide more resource, provide for worker for me to be complete it. Yes, one, but okay, is it impossible because of some reasons, and the thing that we have to manage is in the situation it's highly at first we think about maybe we have to be go to revisit the contract because at first that we agree the contract agreement that we consider that is about this time scope and cost is something, but when you are changing the requirement, we have to be clearly discuss about what happen next. Maybe extend some scope or some project should be the next agreement, or we have to be reduce some scope, or like we have to be complete some core benefit. For example, like we have to be how to say create some new path of the road in Thailand, but when the prime, let's say some top management say you have to be finished reduce the time of the project, we have to be finished for at first we need to be in 1 year, but we have to be finished in let's say 6 months, something like that. Okay, the thing that do it, the thing that we can do it to be create the core benefit, like for the road we create just like a road, but don't have some line, like for line for bicycle, line for to be separate lane, something like that.
Yeah.
Because the core benefit is complete, the road can be the motorcycle, the car can be a transport, something like that. I mean, the core benefit is complete, it might be okay.
Fabulous, fabulous. Yeah.
Yes,
very
another
nice.
thing is maybe some some like for example, like application for the IT project, we have to do maybe how to say adjust the way that we work, use the agile way to be to agile way approach in the project. For example, we have to be split for some team to be do something that parallel and completed some core benefits or some core feature that we have to be complete, and some additional feature we have to be postponed or be released after the core application is complete, something like that.
Yep. Thank you so much. Yeah. So you tell us that basically, if I want to summarize in a short way, that we need to relook on our negotiation, and then we have to see where we can increase the cost, because it cannot be in the same cost, right? This is one thing we have to agree. And then or if we can't pay, if we can't increase the cost, probably we can reduce some of the features, the what do you call, the scope of the project, like a walking side or the bicycle side of the road. We need to reduce this part. Excellent, very good. Thank you so much. Anyone else wants to add some more point here?
Hello.
Yeah.
I think if the case in this case is time inappropriate, being schedule, we can use some raw like roller raw or Johnson raw to make a time more appropriate and less tardiness. However, if in the case that the time is already have a perfect plan and everything is good, maybe to reduce that, we have to change some plan for the least backlog cost. For something like that, because if you got a higher backlog because the time have been reduced, and we can like previous friend say that you have to sometimes have to negotiate on the contractor like that, because the time if you reduce, it can affect on the plan, on the cost and something like that. Or maybe you can use some plan like to do optimal cost, time cost, something like that, to find where is the most appropriate or most optimal cost to do this thing, something like that.
Yeah, excellent. So we need to look back, and then we have to see where we can reduce or what we can do in terms of the cost managing. Thank you. I think I got the main points. If anyone wants to add something, fine. Otherwise, I'm going to show my slide. Anyone got something to share with us? Excited to say something? No? Okay, so then I'm going to bring you to my slide and then see what I have here. Basically, if when you go, I'm not sure whether you have completed the chapter like resource allocation. If not, you will do it later on part of the project management. I'm sure. So basically, two types of project. One is the resource not constant. Yeah. Another is a resource constant. If the project is resource not a constant, we have no problem with the resource. So we can add the resources. We can have more people like a man hour, as your friend said, or maybe like adding some sort of, resources, outsourcing the project work or scheduling the overtime, establishing a core project team and do the things maybe twice faster than so that we complete the things on time. So that's one approach. We have no problem with the resource. We have sufficient resource. Yeah, if it is a government project, in many cases you get the additional money, you can negotiate with them. If it is a project that you get as a contract, sure, you can negotiate. But what if this is your own project and you are a, let's say, pharmaceutical industry, and you understand that you need to come up with the vaccine soon as possible? Yeah. Or what if you are running a internet-based company, or I would say like, let's say you have a software developing company, and you found that the competition is very high in the market, and if you want to get some customer, somehow, some way, you have to make the project less time. What are you gonna do? In such, we actually can play with the fast tracking, and we also can look on the critical chain. What are the things we can do? Have you completed the chapter called the project network, where you're supposed to develop the network? Not sure, like, okay, so you need to find out the critical path. Did it? Not yet. Okay, I'm sure you will do it in some part of the discussion where you have to find out the critical path. So critical path is the longest path in the project where you need to spend more time. So for example, if you have the activity A, activity B, C, D, something like that, you have the 10 activities, and some activities take longer time. And some activities depend for the previous time. So for example, activity E cannot start until you finish the activity A. Yeah? In that case, you need to wait for the activity A to be finished first, then you can start only activity E. So you can look on your critical, the whole network, and see some of the activities, can you do it together? Maybe you can increase some sort of, arranging the resources, or because you don't have the more money. So you have, the problem is only the resource. You have to do it fast. Anyway, again, you have the limited resource. So then you can work with the critical chain. I'm going to show you after that. And reducing the project scope is a one way. Understand that the customer is looking for the product, which is a software. And this software, if I come up with the actual product that I was thinking, then it will take longer time. But customer doesn't understand some part of the project, or some of the things are not that important. So I can cut down, but I can make it faster because my customer is looking for this one. They have no way to increase the resource. The resource is fixed and I have to do it. And that's the problem. And or maybe like compromise the quality. Yeah, you talk with your customer and then say that, you know what, the product that you are looking for is a great, but I have to, you have to compromise it, otherwise I can't make it. So that's how you can do it. So there's a two types. One is the resource not the problem, and another is the resource is a big problem. Even if you have no problem with the resource, you still need to show to the customer why you want to add more money. What are the reason you have to add money? So in the later part, we will see all this together. Yeah. So what we can do, we can look on all our indirect cost, which is associated with our supervisor, administrative cost, consultancy, and then all these things. And we list it down all together. Yeah. Reducing the project time directly reduce the indirect cost because it's you reduce it. But then you have some of the things which is direct cost. Yeah. If you have the more labor hour, you pay more. If you have materials, you have to pay. Equipment, more time, you have to pay. Yeah. So these are the things we need to identify. Where is our direct cost and what are our indirect costs? Then what you have to do is to actually go step by step, gather all information, direct and indirect, then search for the critical activities where you can actually go and reduce some of the time. Yeah? And then compute total cost for specific duration and compare to the benefit, reduce the project time. So you have the one thing is reducing time, but again, some of the cost you cannot control. It's gonna increase anyway. So if you increase the cost, where in the point you can go and minimize get the maximum benefit, meaning that if you even have to spend some money, then how you're gonna manage, how much you can save. That's probably the most important part. Now, if you have, just like if you have some idea about the project, if you work for any project, you know that there's some of the cost is a indirect cost. Yeah? As you increase, it's gonna increase. Yeah, and some of the cost is we call direct cost. Yeah, direct costs are very high at the beginning, but as you have the more and more product, it's actually come down. Why? Because you remember the direct cost here? Yeah, direct cost. So labor, materials, equipment. If you use one lever and produce one, you need to pay all. If you use the same lever but produce 4, you need to pay for 1 because you buy his time for 1 day. So if you can produce more, fine. So direct cost, as you go on, it's actually reduced. And then you need to find out where is the optimal position that can help you to reduce your time while not increasing the cost of the project. Yeah. So I actually have some calculation. I'm not sure whether you can follow me because it's like the chapter is related to the chapter called networking. But if you just carefully listen, I hope you can get the main idea. But you can adjust when you go for chapter called project networking, critical path, and all this discussion. Yeah. So. Here, the first thing you have to do is to, I'm going actually to that directly to that. This part is the explanation over there. So, you have the activity A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So these are the activity. And the time, normal time, you need like 3 days, 6 days for the activity B, 10 days for the C, 11 days for D, 8 days for E. This is the time you normally need. Yeah? And this is, we are talking about the direct cost. And then if you have the, cost, normal time, these are the cost. Yeah? But now you got some option. If you want to reduce the time, you can reduce time. For example, A, you can go for maximum touch time 1. Yeah, you can reduce the time for the A. You can reduce the activity time B 2 days. Yeah, here 1 day, 4 days. And for the Z, you actually cannot reduce time. And now every time you increase, it's going to increase your cost. So let's say if you take this one, yeah, it's going to increase your cost. So it's going to be 50 plus 20 is the 70. Yeah. Something like that. So when you increase, you use this crush time, you have to consider additional cost. Yeah. Additional cost that you have to pay for it. Now, in the latter part, what we're going to do is like we look on all activity here. This is the network. Yeah, that what I was talking about. So when you have this network, you know that activity A, then activity B, activity D, you can do it here, activity C, and then activity E, F, and G. So let me give you an easy example to understand. So let's say you want to go for developing a software. Okay, so when you go for developing a software, you have some sort of stage. Yeah, in the very first stage, maybe you need to understand the software, the data, and all these things. Yeah, so you need to know about details about the customer demand, what they want, and then you wait for the agreement. So you got the agreement first thing. Then you have to work for the maybe like coding. Yeah, this is coding. And at the same time, you can also work for the designing. Yeah. And then let's say here is, I'm just trying, right? This is not the actual example. So let's say this activity is more like, what else I can say? I have few names. Maybe it's like more on getting approval further from the government bodies or something else. Yeah, and then here is the again after the design, final testing of the design, and coding also tested by here, and then you got the final software here. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not the guy from the IT, so I may not give you the very, very correct name. Another example could be like this. You want to arrange a picnic party, or you want to arrange a birthday party. In the birthday party, what you need to do? Probably you need to, you need to get the approval for the place or the renting the place and all these things. Yeah, this is first thing. And then inviting people. Yeah, all these friends you need to invite. At the same time, you can also order for the food. Yeah, and you can also order for the decoration and all these things. Yeah, and then you need to follow up with the friend, like a messenger or whatever. You need to follow up with them, and then you have to also book for the finally, like the food and decoration, and those people arrange all these things. So they also got here, and now you have the birthday party here. Okay, so these are the activities we do to complete the birthday party. Now, if it is the situation, you have the cost involved with each of the activities. Now we'll try to look on all these costs and all this time. If you look on the all these costs, the minimum one is the 20. So if you go for the reducing the time, you can reduce the time one day for the activity one. In such, you have to add extra 20. Are you okay with me? Can you follow what I'm saying?
Yes, we are following.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so now you look on this activity, and then you understand that the direct cost is 450. Now, when you reduce this thing, you have the 3 days, you here make it 2 days. As you make it 2 days, your direct cost immediately increase $20. So here's the activity chart. Yeah, everything got some money, right? So you got the whole cost, it was 450, now it's become 470. You can complete the whole thing in previously like 25 days, but now you can complete this in 24 days. Yeah, class. So we move on and we try to look on what are the activities we still have and where we can reduce the time. Where is the time that we can reduce? Yeah, surely looking on that D is the less expensive compared to other. So we look on D. Can we reduce the time here? Yes, we can, because D allow us to reduce the time like 4 days. Yeah, we can reduce the 4 days, but we have to keep in mind that each day is the $25. So we reduce here the time. We agree to reduce the, and then it's come like this way, the latter part. Yeah, you can see here, I have the additional cost 497, but its result me 23 days. So I increase the project cost increase a little bit, but still it's good for me because I reduce my time. Now, what else I can do? Is there anything I can do? Can I reduce the time again? So I look back again on my information, and it's appeared to me that I have a few things that I can do together. I can reduce the F, I can reduce the E or C. It's all the same cost. I shouldn't reduce the B because it's a $40. So I either should select E, F, or C. Now look back on my work and then what if I want to reduce the C? Yeah, C need the 10 days. Yeah, and if I reduce the C, what gonna happen? It won't affect my project because the problem is F still need to wait for D to be complete. Yeah? So then what about E? If I reduce the E, it's not good enough because this line is the critical path, right? This line is the critical path. So this is taking anyway less time. So it won't affect my project. So the only thing that I can do, I can reduce the time from F. If I reduce the time from F, then what's gonna happen? It's immediately reduced 1 day and it's increased my cost $30. So it's become 525. Can I reduce further? Now you see all these paths are critical path. Yeah. Remember we said that the critical path is the longest path. So how we calculate here, if you look 3, 6 is a 9, and then 8 equals to 17, and then you have the 6, meaning that 17 and 6, 23, but that's not the critical path. Critical path is the longest path. So here is the 3 plus 11 is the 14 plus 5 is the 19 and the 6 equals to 25. So this is the critical path. And when we reduce this time, it's all become the critical path. These two become the critical path. Now, what else we can do? If we look on the data, it shows us that we still can reduce the time for the E. We still can reduce the time for C. B also possible. So can we reduce the time for F? No, because F we only can reduce 1 day. Again, here we can't reduce A because A allow us to reduce only 1 day. So now we decided to reduce the D, C, E, which will cost us more, and it's become the very expensive project. So it's become 610 because all this money we need to pay. That's C, D, E. And then it's become all critical path and it can be done in a 21 days. So now if we bring our direct cost from the our analysis before and the indirect cost that we have in our table, we can find that B is the place where, 22 is the place where we actually can reduce the cost and it's good for our company. So although we reduce our time and at the same time, we also reduce the cost, total cost. So we go for that one and we agree that here is the point we should. So 22 days is the good fit for our project. Now, what if the cost is the problem, not the time? So, we have the serious problem with the time. Time, you can take time, but I have the problem with the cost. I cannot give you any more money. Yeah. So the common practices are reduce the project scope, yeah, and have the owner take more responsibility. Okay, in previous time we agreed that the software will be ready and then we will give the training. But this time we say no, we will not give any training. You arrange the training. We will reduce the cost. Yeah, and then brainstorming the cost saving options. Is there any way we can purchase from the supplier who give us the less price? Can we go for outsourcing where the activity can be done faster and we need to pay less? Yeah, these are the few options the companies consider or the project manager consider. Oops. Yeah.
Sorry, may I have one question?
Yeah.
I couldn't catch you on the summary page.
Okay. Yeah.
Why indirect cost of the option 22 days is 250? Where it come from?
Yeah. Okay. So we can see here. So this one, we have the cost table in the beginning. I'm so sorry, I didn't bring this data here. So it's the data usually we give at the exercise. When we use this exercise, we give this data. Somehow it's missing. I will share with you the data later on. I'm sorry for that one. Yeah, but
Okay.
it's the indirect cost we actually got from our calculation, and not the
Okay.
calculation from the what do you call, from our experience and all these things. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So my understanding is the how to say, the chain that you show is to show the direct cost only, right?
Yeah.
There is no data for indirect cost.
Right. So it's the data usually given. So you will be given this data. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Hello.
Yes.
I want to ask about if the part have the same rank and it is the wrong case, which one will be the critical or both of it will be critical?
I'm
critical
sorry.
part.
Yeah, can you go one more time?
Yes, if the part the longest part have two of them have the same range.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Which one of it will be the critical part?
Oh, then my question is, can we have the two or more critical part in a one single network? The answer is yes, we can have more than one part. So yeah, so both will be considered the critical part.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. All right, so then I usually follow the book with this discussion. So what happened, the book is not, I didn't provide you the book because it's a one class, and therefore is the data of the indirect data is missing here, but I can give you later on. Yeah. So as you can see here, that as we go on more and more day, the indirect cost increase, and that also makes sense because you remember that we talked here at the beginning that direct cost and indirect cost, right? So indirect cost is the supervisor, administration, and consultancy and interest, these kind of things. If you get more, you need to pay more, right? And if you have the less, you pay less. So here's the point. So we work with the direct cost and we try to come up with the optimum point where we can see the whole project cost actually reduce because of the direct cost, we managed to reduce it. So class, then we are almost end of our discussion. What is here is that if the cost is the problem, then we want to reduce the time scope, and then we brainstorm and we go for the outsourcing, and that's how we manage our project. Yeah. So if I want to summarize the whole discussion for today, what I try to do is that we start with the very basic introduction about the project, like history of the project. And then we also talked about the project management. We said that the application of the management knowledge is the project management, right? And then we talked about, let me open the first slide, sorry. So then we talked about the importance of cost management, why it's so important. Then we go one by one and we try to look on the estimation difficulties. What are the challenges with the estimation? We've seen that the biggest project like the train station in Germany got challenge. Yeah. And then there is surely many cases in Thailand that you know that estimation doesn't work. And then we also try to understand what we can do to reduce, this kind of mishandling, or I would say that the problem related to estimation. Then we finally go for managing the cost turbulence. Yeah, if there is a situation that, hey, you know what, we have to reduce our project duration. And that's a big problem. So how can we handle? So we then talked about that some of the project has the no problem with the resource. So we add the resource and we do it. But some of the project has a serious problem with the resource. So we then try to reduce on our, what we call the cost. We reduce the direct cost as much as we can. And then we also know that the indirect cost itself reduced because of the time. And then we try to come up with the optimal situation where we pay less. Yeah? And we also can go for outsourcing in case of the cost is the main problem. I mean, we can give someone who can make it in a cheap price, or we can reduce the project size, or we can, communicate with the customer, what we can do. So these are the things we have talked today. I hope you got the maximum point, maximum understanding of the lecture. If you have any question, I'm ready to answer your question. Feel free to ask me if you have any question. Yeah, anyone got any point or any things to share with us? Yeah. So let me stop the recording.
Recording stopped.
So now it's a free time before we end the class. Anyone wants to say something or any discussion that we can, bring it here to talk a little bit? Is there anyone who is leading any project right now? Yeah. Anyone here? You are leading a project right now.
I think we have many people that are involved with project management right now.
Okay, so anyone wants to share your experience handling the project and what are the challenges related to managing the cost? Yeah. I think it's.
I have a question about estimation cost, because a direct cost is, I think, is easy to be estimated, but about the indirect cost, how can we estimate the indirect cost in the cost estimations?
Okay, so when we look on the indirect cost, there are few things that we can look our data, and it's basically like our data, like think about what are the indirect costs. Yeah. So for example, supervision. Yeah. If you have a supervision or consulting team, you pay the money. It's a fixed kind of money. And then you have these things that if you reduce the time, it's reduced. If you increase the time, let's say you hire a consultant for 1 day, the money you pay, and if you hire someone for the more time, you pay more. Bank interest, you take the bank interest, you keep it 6 months, you pay one amount. If you go for 10 months, you pay reduce, you pay more, right? So that's the things. We have the data. In general, we have the data in our stock. We can see all this indirect cost. The problem related with the direct cost when it comes to the labor, materials, and equipment, all these things. So basically, to be straight away answer, we got the indirect cost directly from our database. Anyone got any more question, please? Does it answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. Yeah. So I miss the campus, you know. So it's like having classroom in the home. It's like, oh, boring already. So hopefully things will be better in coming day. Everyone got the vaccine, right?
Yes, I got 2.
Okay, me also got 2. Yeah, so hopefully in few months we can go to the campus. I just hear that the faculty is thinking about opening by the middle of the October. So it may not be the what they call the physical class in this semester, but hopefully coming semester we're gonna go for physical class. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining with me today. And it's a good discussion. And if you have any question, feel free to drop me email. I can write my email address here, and I'm surely will happy to communicate with you after that. Okay, this is my email address. So, yep. Anyone else? Any more things? So that's all. Thank you so much. And feel free to leave the room. I have no more things to discuss for today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.